Hello, I am Adil from MBA D section Business Analytics, and today I am going to tell you about the basic computer systems and its role in business. So let's begin. So today we are going to understand about the computer system and their role in business. Starting off with the computer hardwares and softwares. So the computer hardwares and softwares include of the physical components of the computer which you can see and touch, such like the CPU, the brain of the computer, and the motherboard and the RAM. Also the input devices which is keyboard, mouse and scanner. The output devices may include monitor, printer, speaker and peripheral devices such as USB devices and webcams. So here you can have a look over the CPU, which is the computer hardware, and here you can see is the power supply of the computer, and the green thing which you see here is called as the motherboard, coming with the heatsink, which is also called as the CPU coolers, which keeps the CPU cool. And here you see is the RAM, which helps your computer keep its performance running cool or smooth while multitasking. And here you can see is the hard disk of the computer, which is installed inside. So these are the hardwares of the computer. So this was the overview about the hardware components in a computer. So now let's come towards the softwares of the computer. The software types of a computer are programs that tell hardware what to do, such as the software system, which is the OS like the Windows and the Mac OS for the Apple products, and the application software such as Photoshop, such as Word documents, such as the browsers which we use for our regular functions, and the application softwares, the utility softwares, which is pre-installed while you buy a computer, or which is manually installed to keep your computer safe, such as antivirus, your disk cleaners. So these softwares and hardwares work together. One cannot perform its functions without the other. This was all about the hardwares and software components of a computer. So here come the role of information technology. Um, so now coming towards the CPU components. So the internal components of CPU, the central processing unit, would be the motherboard, the power supply, the head hard drive, the battery, the heatsink, and the computer memory, which is the RAM and also the GPU. As you can see, here is the CPU for a demo. Here you can see this is the power supply, which provides the supply to the CPU, the parts of the CPU for its functioning. And this is called as the memory, the computer's memory, the RAM, which usually comes with 4 GB RAM, 16, 32, 64, such like that. And the green board which you see behind is the motherboard, which operates by handling all the overall functions of components inside the CPU. Coming through the heatsink, the fan which you see here. So it works as it emits the heat out of the CPU for the motherboard to run smoothly and efficiently, so that you don't have any lags in your functioning. So here you can see the storage, the hard drive of the computer, which is usually for the storage, the data storage of the computer, which we do on a daily basis. So these were all the internal components of a CPU. The other component of a CPU is the GPU, which is the graphic processing unit. So this is a demo of a GPU, which is to be installed in a CPU for its better graphic optimization. So a graphic unit works as the refresh rate, the FPS, which would be starting from 30 FPS, from 60 Hertz, and 120 and 144 Hertz for its smooth function, which reduces lags in your day-to-day performances, such as your games, your presentations, your other operations. Last topic of our video, which is computer booting process. So the booting process of a computer are the actions which are performed for it to start or to restart your computer, which involves the initializing the hardware, the loading of your operating system into your memory, and the system configurations. The power button is pressed and the power supply delivers the electricity to your computer components, which the components would be BIOS, which is basic input and output system. Flowing with that would connect with your checking essential devices and other functions. Then the power on self start. Along with that, it it serves a test called as post, which is performed by BIOS to ensure the hardware components like the CPU and the memory are functioning correctly. So coming with the third step, which is the bootloader activation. So the bootloader is also called as the small program that loads the operating system into your memory. Coming with that is the operating system loading. The bootloader locates the operating system, which takes control over your computer. The other next step after the operation system loading comes with the configuration of your system, wherein the final authentication process starts here and prompting a login credential, which displays on your desktop. And after all the loading and the checks are done, finally the system utility loading and the user interaction starts to your desktop screen. So now the computer is ready to use and interact while the operating system or the other applications which you are about to use on a computer. Thank you for watching the video. This was basically a review over the computer functions and its role in business. Hope you all liked. Thank you.